My dad was someone's let's not meet. So last month in August, we took a family vacation to Miami, Florida to get away from the hard working and learning life as we decided to treat ourselves. My mom's aunt was leaving with her husband on her own vacation, and so she let us use her apartment to stay, which is only 2 blocks away from the beach. A few days into our vacation, my dad, in his 60s, little sister, 8, and I, 20, decide to let my mom relax by herself while we hit the beach. When we head out, we noticed we didn't bring anything to eat, so he asked me to quickly run to the store and buy some fruits. Before I took off, important, I gave my dad my huge sun hat to hold. You know, one of those round, big ones? While I quickly ran to the store. We agreed we'd meet across the street where there's a park so my sister could play while waiting. Moments later, I come back and find my dad laughing to himself as he tells me what happened while I was at the store. The playground didn't have any benches, so my dad had to sit a bit further away, and he placed my hat on his lap, covering his crotch area and his hand resting underneath. This all happens naturally as he was watching my sister play. Side note, my dad doesn't look intimidating, but everyone thinks he's my grandpa, maybe because he wears a long white beard. So he tells me that a man was walking his dog and noticed my dad watching my little sister and his hand underneath a female hat, and suddenly this man goes into full red flag alert and starts to watch my dad carefully, thinking he's a creep, touching himself, spying on my sister. The man walks near my sister and stands next to her as if to guard her while she played with his dog. Then my dad says the man walked across the street and went behind a fence and stood there for about 5 minutes spying on my dad through one of the fence openings to make sure he didn't do anything to my sister. A few days later, while on a family walk, we saw the man with his dog and 2 other girls around my sister's age. The man didn't recognize my dad. The way they interacted gave it away that those were his kids, and we realized he was just being protective as he would be over his own children if he thought there was a creep in town. But no creep. Just my dad.
That is so funny that the dad was so calm about it after the daughter got back. He's like, guess what just happened?
He's like, in retrospect, I see how someone could have thought. However, I imagine in the moment he's just sitting there like, oh, what a nice little day in the park. The sun is shining. Bethany's playing on the swings. What a nice time we're having. Meanwhile,
this guy's like lurking through the bushes. Like,
he's like on his walkie-talkie. Predator alert, predator alert.
Do you see him over there? Wee woo.
Is Chris Hansen on the phone? We got one.
Okay, 2 things. First thing, why didn't he take his hand out of the hat if he noticed that the guy was watching him?
Yeah.
That's my first thing, is like, did he think he was funny? Because I can understand thinking it's funny.
Yeah.
But if you're also trying to avoid confrontation, then I feel like the best move would be take the hat off and show that your hands are up.
I promise my pants are I wonder if it didn't click in until a little bit later when he's like, man, that guy's really looking over here.
Yeah.
Is that him by the fence? Still looking over here?
Watching on the phone with Chris Hansen?
Yeah, as he's just like holding the hat.
I can hear him on his walkie-talkie to Chris Hansen, and he's like telling him where to go.
Sounds like he's telling him to come here. The description is my outfit.
Oh, I'm sitting. Second thing, have you seen on YouTube the guys that will go? What are they called? They have a name, but they're like justice people, like
okay.
But they do essentially what Chris Hansen does, and they'll trap people for messaging minors and then get them to meet them at like a Walmart or something adjacent to that.
Yeah.
And they'll humiliate them in the store and be like, I'm going to like call your mom right now and tell her what you did. Call your wife right now and tell her what you did. Or I'm going to call the cops. And then they call the cops.
Vigilante Chris Hansen. I bet it's still manned by Chris Hansen.
Yeah.
But he wanted to make fun of them and then...
There was something problematic about it, and I can't remember what it was.
Yeah.
But there's that if you ever get bored and want to watch some To Catch a Predator, but IRL. Well, I guess they're all.
It's all
in real life, but YouTubers.
Yeah. I shout out to the guy for being like, you know what, that looks weird. I'm gonna stick around and make sure it's not weird.
Yeah. There was one time when I was a wee lass. I was like 17, but we went to this place called Church on a Hill.
Okay.
And it's where all the like people who wanted to be bad teenagers would go and hang out.
Okay.
And because it was a church on top of a hill, and you could see all of the downtown city and stuff. And we would go up there and, you know, smoke lettuce and hang out.
Religious experience.
And one time at like 1 a.m, me and my friends were there, and we saw this older guy, sitting in a gazebo, and he had a younger girl who did not look like she could be related to him.
Yeah.
Laying on his lap. And so we got nervous and we called the cops because we just weren't sure.
Yeah.
And we probably could have ruined their night. But they could have just been up there praying. I don't know. But it was like 1 a.m.
Yeah, that's weird.
So I was like, this is weird.
That's weird.
This is weird. So yeah, we called the cops and we did not stay to hang around because we had stuff on us.
Mm-hmm.
So we left, but yeah, we ended up, I was like, this is odd.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. I always used to wonder if people thought that I was kidnapped because my mom is a white woman.
Put a picture of Michelle up here.
And yeah, a lot of people like in school, like before we went over Punnett Squares, thought I was adopted. I was like, I'm not. And they're like, okay, well, what happened? And I was like, well, I wasn't kidnapped, so.
What happened? Well, when a mommy and a daddy love each other very much.
I think it's extra funny when I'm like out with like my mom and my sister and my Nana and
another person.
People are like,
who's the outlier?
are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm supposed to be here, don't worry.
You're getting out. You're gonna get out.
Clink if you need help.
You're like, you don't see a teaspoon anywhere, do you?
There's a picture I took with my Nana. We were wearing matching sweaters on Christmas, and I wanted it to be such a cute picture, but I had stayed up all night helping a friend wrap presents for her son. And I was very tired. And in the picture, I look like a Get Out character. Oh. It's like,
oh no.
I'm just there with this little old lady, and I'm like,
people are actually
eyes
like,
are watering.
Are you okay?
Mm-hmm.
Are you being held against your will?
Someone other's like, I fucking knew it. Anyway.
If you enjoyed that little story, be sure to watch the full episode here.
And make sure you like, subscribe, and all that jazzy.
Jazzy? I see what you did there. Wait, what was that?